Hello?
Fam, you ever hear me bang at your door, fam?
Bro, I'm sleeping right now, bro. Why you at my house?
Fam, please, bro. Just a quick 1-2 cup, bro. I just need a lineup, fam. Got a date just now, fam. Things outside my house just now, fam. Gotta hurry.
Bro, you are calling me out of my sleep right now,
Bro,
gang.
please, fam. I'll pay double, fam. Pay double, fam. Please.
Double.
Come
You know,
on, bro. I just need the lineup, fam. You know I got the dreads, bro. I just need the lineup, bro.
you know
Come
what,
from the
fam?
cut.
Alright, give me like 5 minutes. I'll be right there. Hold on.
Appreciate you, bro. I'm at the door just now. All cash, fam.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming.
Dealing with, fam. Shannon, bro. Appreciate you letting me come through.
Hey,
Yo,
bro,
I need that cut,
you're a
yo.
lucky guy, fam. See what happens? Like, loyalty pays off. Hey, you've been coming to me for a minute, so I'm gonna deal with you.
Of course. It's always love, bro.
Waking me up out of my sleep and shit. Fuck,
Hey, man, you said you gotta get this bread, so let's get this bread.
All right. What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nate Cuts here, man. We're back with another tutorial. Today, we're gonna be doing a crispy lineup for you guys. We're gonna be showing you how to get the crispiest lineup every single time, no matter the hair texture, no matter the client. Today, we got my boy Prezi in the chair, man. Y'all go tap in with him, but we're gonna be doing a crispy lineup on it. We're gonna be getting the C cups overly arched up. We're gonna get that beard nice and connecting and full. Hairline nice and straight. Obviously, he has a lot of hair right here. Beautiful hair, by the way. Yo, you're making me miss my dreads right now. I can't lie. We're gonna get into this tutorial nice and easy for you guys today, and no better way to start it off than taking our brush. And we're just gonna lay everything, set ourselves up for success. All right, guys, that's what it's all about. You wanna first brush all the hair down. Get everything brushed nice and even so you know what you're cutting and what you're not. You know what I mean? Especially with locks, when there's no retwists, especially too, you gotta know what's new growth and what's meant to be cut. You don't wanna be cutting the new growth, because then now he goes back for a retwist. His loctician's gonna be looking at him like, yo, who cut your hair? You don't wanna be the guy that he mentions. He has a very small taper area. So it's not like what you see in most cases where they have like a nice distance gap between their dreads and their hairline. It's more so just something subtle, like it's straight baby hairs. All right, so starting in the taper area, we're not giving them a taper, we're just doing like nice deep C cups on it, like a ice pick. So I like to use the technique, the raking technique, where I take my clipper all the way open and I just comb down on those hairs with it, and it just knocks everything down to a nice low level without making it too low. You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna go with my 1.5 all the way closed. I'm just gonna go against the grain and then just even all the hair out. Facial hair, even this hair out. The most important thing when you're doing lineups is everything has to be even before you go ahead and actually try to put the line on them. Because when it's not even, you're gonna have hairs that are longer than others falling over the lineup, and it just becomes a mess and it's hard to control. Knock down this mustache too. I use the same raking technique, all the way open, with the grain on the mustache. And I like to say that this levels it out to basically the equivalent of like a 1. Go ahead and do that for the lineup. Look closely, you can see the hairs like coil up at the top of the lineup. Once they get too long, that's where the raking technique is perfect. I take it all the way open, and you're just combing down with the hairs. Now, start the lineup process. Let's kick it off. I'm gonna start with his mustache, get that out the way. Before we actually start the lineup, I like to take some alcohol I like to take a neck strip. If you guys watched the last video, you saw me do the same technique. Just pour a bit of that alcohol in the neck strip. We'll just apply it on our lineup surface. What this does is cleans up any leftover oil or dirt or debris that could be on his head. That'll make it more challenging to give him a crispy lineup. So this just cleans the hair perfectly. Clean an air dryer, take your blow dryer, cold air. Just taking our holding spray, use Tresemme level 4, and just light taps. You don't want to cake it up too much, because then what that does is it creates like this nasty white chalky film on the forehead that when you do line them up, you'll think it's like that ash line that you're looking for, but in reality, it's all just clunk from the hairspray. Same thing, we take our cold air, dry it up. When we do eventually put the trimmer on them, we get that nice crispy lineup the first time around, okay? Now I'm taking my clipper and I'm just doing a little bit more raking just so that I make sure all the hairs are evenly cut down. Now for the moment of truth, what we've been waiting for, we're gonna start with his vertical bars, okay? So these are his vertical bars. What I pay attention to first, which one is naturally higher? Everybody has a naturally higher side when it comes to their lineup. Very few people have like a very perfect lineup, like no matter what, right? As you see, as I'm assessing, this side is just slightly higher than this side, not drastically at all. But knowing that, we're gonna start on the higher side. So I'm gonna start by placing in my vertical bar, and I'm just lightly tapping it. And I'm paying attention to where the last hair at the bottom of the vertical bar is. Lightly tapping it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put in that C cup right after that. I put in the C cup by starting at the top, creating that box right here. And once I create that box, I create another point at the bottom. And then we just connect the two. Just connecting point A to point B. Okay, that's our first C cup placed in. And you guys are gonna see why in a second, why we wanted to start on the higher side. Because now when we look at him straight on, we see that this C cup is what's basically gonna set the standard for where this C cup is gonna start. If I started on this side would be lower, and this side would naturally be higher, and then we'd be forced to come back on this side and then push this side up. Now I save myself some time by starting on the naturally higher side, so now when we go to this side, we just follow what we already did on the other side. I know that this is where the C cup starts on this side, so now I'm gonna map it out, do the same thing on this side. A point at the bottom. Once that's done, go to the back of the C cup. And what you're paying attention to when you're doing the back of the C cup, the lineup behind the ear, is that it follows the same curvature as the C cup. So a lot of times people will go and like just make this like a soft round and like it's cool, but then it doesn't have that pronounced look. But then when you pay attention to how this C cup curves and you match it exactly, it has more unison. It almost creates like a funnel. I'm just gonna follow that into his beard now. With my trimmer. Real quick. The same thing behind the ear. We did our C cups, we did our vertical bars. Now we're gonna do the front lineup. All right. Now a little quick assessment before we start this front lineup. We see that the middle here has a very small little patch of hair right here, which is going to be our guide to essentially follow to this direction and to this direction. Now, if we assess it further, we see that the hair here dips a bit lower than the hair here. So what does that tell us? That this side is going to come a bit lower than this side. So that's also what you have to pay attention to when you're assessing lineups. So now we're going to brush it once more without obviously pulling out any new growth. We're going to start by putting in that initial first point in the middle of his forehead. Okay. Once that's set in, we're going to look at him head on. And we're going to follow to the higher side first, which again is this side. So in the middle, and slowly work your way to this corner. Not all the way, but just about to the corner. Stop before you fully get to the corner. Now we're going to come back to the middle. I want to follow that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Again, stopping right before we get to the corner. Because then it's at the corner where we have to make another assessment. So, starting off at this corner, we're going to go back to the vertical bar, punch that in, and then we're going to go and connect the corners together from the vertical bar to the hairline. But we're not done yet, because now we got to go and put the razor on my boy to make sure everything's all the way crispy. All right, now to clean up the lineup, we're going to take our razor, pull the skin with our thumb, and then we're just going to scrape all that extra hair out the way. When it comes to the C-cup, I'm very precise with what part of the blade I'm using in which part of the curve I'm hitting. So when I'm in this deep part of the curve, I'm really only using the corner of my blade. If I was to use the full part of my blade, that's more so if I'm working further away from the curve, if I'm just clearing off extra hair. But when I want to get into like a tight curve, I use the corner of the blade for more precision. Now with the vertical bar, when you're using the razor, it's more important you keep your thumb here just to like hold it. You're not really trying to pull it. When you pull it, it curves the vertical bar. So you'll be pulling your razor to it, thinking that it's straight. Then when you let go, the tension causes the line to curve, because that's not what you want. So you don't want to really be pulling the vertical bar when you're using the razor, but you just want to keep your thumb there just to stabilize it. Okay. Now at the top of the C cup, I use my middle finger and I just push down right above his eyebrow, and I go up towards that corner to match the box. Even the smallest little stubble around the lineup could drastically change the sharpness of the lineup. It's important if you guys are, especially if you guys are just starting, just take your time. Right here, using the corner of the blade again. Once I'm in that, finish it off, you gotta get the stubble on the forehead as well. Can't forget that. If you guys aren't using your razor on every single lineup that you do, you're missing out on some serious game. Alright, and this is for everybody who wants to be a little bit extra clean with their work. What I'd like to do is I take a light tan pencil. It may look white, it's not white. I then take my Q-tip with a little bit of alcohol, and I push, again, keep the tension, and I just rub that on the C-cup, fade it out, keeping it looking as natural as possible, and it just gives that C cup that extra pop. And things like these are always preference, right? But I think when you're willing to go the extra mile for your client and do these little things, it goes a long way, especially when it's executed right, you know? So that is it for today, guys. That's the lineup tutorial all said and done. Take a look at the final result. Crispy, clean. If you guys learned anything from this video, make sure you please subscribe and leave a comment down in the video. Let me know what you thought about the new setup, the new production, any of the tips that I let you guys know. I really enjoy making videos for you guys. So if you guys really like these videos, please hit that like button. Also follow me on all platforms. My name is Nate. I'll leave all my socials in this video in the description. I gotta head back to bed because I'm exhausted. You know, I had to get my brother right real quick. But yeah, thank you guys for watching once again. It's been your boy Nate. Peace.